More black babies are aborted than born in New York City every year. The African American race is the only minority race whose population is declining. These are facts I'm going to share with you, with a few more. And I'm going to prove that this is by design, that there's actually a black genocide happening today in the United States. And I'm going to expose the powers that be behind it. But first, this message is to LeBron James. So I want to start off by saying, Mr. James, King James, Michael was the best player ever until you came along. I'm making it public on YouTube that in my opinion, LeBron James is the best basketball player ever to play in the NBA. And that's saying a lot from me because I love Michael and I didn't think anybody could ever be better than Michael, but I actually believe LeBron is the best. I also want to thank you, Mr. LeBron James, because you are a great role model. I have 5 children and 6 grandchildren, and I really appreciate good role models. Not only on the court, you carry yourself classy, but off the court, it's obvious that you love your wife and children, and it's obvious you love your community and you give back in a big way. So I want to thank you for that. But here's a message I'm giving to you, Mr. James, because I know you are very influential. So if you're like me, I was blind to the black genocide, and for years I was mad at the wrong people. So I just want to share, I'm a little bit older than you, I'm 52 years old, so I may not be the smartest guy, I may not be the most educated guy, but I pay attention. And I've been paying attention for 52 years, and I've seen some things that have blown my mind. So I just want to share with you. The Bible says gray hair is a sign of wisdom. If I had any hair, I'm sure it would be gray by now. So, just saying. But here it is. Margaret Sanger said this. Margaret Sanger said, "Negroes are like human weeds that need to be exterminated." Margaret Sanger also said, and you can see this on a YouTube video to Mike Wallace. She was speaking to Mike Wallace. She also said to Mike Wallace, "I love speaking at KKK rallies because they were so enthusiastic about what I have to say." You think? Come on. Who is Margaret Sanger? Margaret Sanger is the founder of the Negro Project, and more importantly, the founder of Planned Parenthood, which I like to call Clan Parenthood, because 90% of Planned Parenthood clinics are in black neighborhoods. And that's another quote from Margaret Sanger. To eliminate the black race, we need to put, she called them sterilization clinics. Margaret Sanger said to eliminate the black race, well, she called them Negroes back then, to eliminate the Negro race, we need to put sterilization clinics in Negro communities. And but behold, Planned Parenthood, over 90%, probably 99% of their clinics are in black neighborhoods. Now, Hillary Clinton in 2016, speaking at a Planned Parenthood clinic that was honoring Margaret Sanger's birthday or something, said this about Margaret Sanger: "I greatly admire Margaret Sanger. I am in awe of Margaret Sanger." Now that quote would be surprising if you didn't follow Hillary Clinton's career like I have. See, when Robert Byrd died in 2010, Hillary Clinton said, "Robert Byrd was a mentor of mine." Who's Robert Byrd? Robert Byrd was the 3rd ranking senator in the Democrat Party when he died. Very powerful Democrat. Robert Byrd also was a grand wizard in the KKK. Now, when Bill Clinton was asked about this, he said, "Well, back then, if you were a Democrat, you had to belong to the KKK." Really? Well, if you watch the media today, you would think that only Republicans belong to the KKK. But Bill Clinton was being honest. The KKK was started by Democrats in response to the Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, who freed the slaves. Now, slavery was the epitome of evil. There's nothing I can think of more evil than slavery. But it wasn't abnormal. There's been slavery from the beginning of time. The word slave actually comes from the word Slav, referring to the Slavic people because there were so many Slavs in slavery. And the Slavs are what we would call Russians or Polish people today. Basically Europeans, Eastern and Western Europeans were called Slavs, and there were so many Slavic slaves in the beginning and back in time. In fact, when American slavery was taking place, there were more slaves in India than in the entire Western Hemisphere. But what was abnormal was for a country to stop slavery. For Abraham Lincoln to say, if slavery isn't bad, then nothing's bad, was abnormal. What was abnormal was for a country to fight and lose lives. Many Americans died fighting slavery. And we pulled down that Confederate flag and put up the American flag. And that's why a lot of veterans like myself feel like it's a spit in the face. It feels like when athletes don't stand for the American flag, they're spitting in our face. That's how we feel. When I know you don't kneel, but when NFL players kneel and they say, well, that flag represents police brutality, I say, no, it doesn't. It represents the American men and women who died fighting to free the slaves, fighting to free us from, protect us from the Nazis and from the Japanese that wanted to enslave us. The American flag stands for freedom. That's why we say it stands for freedom. It doesn't stand for police brutality. Just like if a Southerner says, oh, the Confederate flag doesn't stand for hate, it stands for heritage. No, it stands for hate. And I made a video that it should be taken down, and it was taken down by Republican governors, and they were all put up by Democrat governors. You can see that in my other video, Racism in America, on this channel. That's a different point. But I know, I'm only bringing that up because I know that this started this controversy with you and President Trump. When President Trump said, if these guys don't want to kneel for the American flag, you should fire all those bastards. Now, Trump was just saying what half of America feels like. You know, as veterans, most of us veterans, we feel that way. And the media is trying to make bastard to be a racist word, but none of us took it as racist. None of us are saying because they're black they need to get fired. We're saying who's ever not kneeling, whether they're black, white, or Hispanic, you know? And getting back to the Clintons, I know I got off a little track there, but getting back to the Clintons, Bill Clinton, when he was president, said his mentor was William J. Fulbright, or J. William Fulbright, another racist senator from the South, from Arkansas, who fought against civil rights. He stood side by side with Al Gore Sr., Al Gore's father. They were fighting against civil rights. When George Bush's father or grandfather, it was a Bush, you can Google it, was fighting in favor of civil rights. Okay, that's why Martin Luther King Jr. was a Republican, because Republicans were for civil rights. And the media twisted so much that they showed the 50th anniversary of when that racist governor, George Wallace in Alabama, stood in front of the University of Alabama and wouldn't let black people come in. And they were talking about the 50th anniversary, and they referred to George Wallace as a Republican. I'm 52 years old. I know that he's a Democrat. So this is why the people call it fake news, because we've lived through history, we've watched history, and then the news reports history. And young people that haven't lived, it's not that they're not smart, it's just they haven't lived, they didn't live through it. So they're believing the news, they're thinking the news isn't going to lie. But we're saying, no, this is fake news. So Trump didn't make up the term fake news, he's using it to relate to us, who I've been calling it fake news since I'm a teenager. I grew up in the inner city. Everybody around me was a Democrat. But I paid attention and I said, listen, we keep voting these Democrats in and nothing changes. Isn't that the definition of insanity? You know, keep doing the same thing and expecting something different to happen. So I've been an outspoken conservative since I was a teenager. But I would never consider myself a racist, and I don't think anybody that knows me would consider myself a racist. And in fact, when Trump attacked John McCain, I was furious. I was so furious. I made a video about Trump, and one of my good Christian friends, who I consider a mentor, sent me an email and said, Rob, you know, in that video, you stooped to his level. I don't think it was very Christian. So I took that video down. But never did I think Trump was anti-veteran. Because John McCain happened to be a veteran, he was just attacking John McCain. And in the video I pointed out, John McCain is probably the greatest American hero living today. I mean, if you look at John McCain's life, what he went through Vietnam, that is the epitome of character. And I pointed out that Trump avoided the draft in Vietnam. Plus, I said some other pretty nasty things that I probably shouldn't say as a Christian. However, it wasn't that he was anti-veteran. I learned about Trump, if you attack him, he attacks you back and attacks you hard. So when he attacked those guys kneeling, and I guess you responded, he felt he was being attacked. Do I think it was appropriate for him to attack you back? No, I don't think it was racist. I think, I was going to vote for John Kasich. John Kasich is to me the model conservative. That's what true conservatism looks like. Okay, but he lost. So when it came down to voting for Trump or Hillary Clinton, who's going to keep this black genocide going for sure, and I wasn't sure if Trump would or not, but I figured I know what I'm getting with Clinton. She wants abortion through the 9th month. She wants a fund Planned Parenthood. She wants more Planned Parenthood clinics in black communities. Her mentor was a KKK Grand Wizard. Or do I want Trump, who's kind of vulgar and kind of nasty, but says he's going to put in judges that'll reverse Roe versus Wade. So I went with Trump, like most of us Americans did. And guess what? He put in so many pro-life judges. He's our only chance of reversing this black genocide. He's our only chance of getting abortion to stop. The Democrat platform wants to fund Planned Parenthood. The Democrat platform, Hillary Clinton and all her friends, want abortion legal through the 9th month. This is extreme. I'm not making this up. You can research. This is true. Most people don't realize this. They want abortion through the 9th month. The only thing stopping this are judges, because our politicians don't have the guts to stop it. Only judges are stopping it. And Trump is putting in conservative pro-life judges. This is why they're so against all these judges. They don't care about nothing else except abortion. If Trump's judges said they were pro-choice, if they knew they were pro-choice, they would vote for him in a heartbeat. But because these are pro-life judges, the Democrats want to stop it. And they can't, you notice they're not even using the argument about the donations. They used to say there was some case, the Supreme Court ruled that allowed all these major companies to make donations and it favors the Republicans or whatever. They can't even say that because Trump didn't take any donations. In fact, Hillary Clinton took the normal Republican donations from the Koch brothers. She took from defense, she took from pharmacy. Trump didn't take any donations. So now they're focused on abortion. They're focused on the black genocide. And Mr. LeBron, I want you to please look into this. They are trying to eliminate your race. This is our day and age slavery. This is the cause you need to take up. And I'm with you, and there's many Americans that are with you. I'm a Catholic Christian, and Catholics have been fighting against this black genocide for years. My evangelical brothers are fighting for it too. So please, give what I had to say some thought, look into it and see what I'm telling you is true, and put this on your Twitter feed or something. Get the word out. They're trying to kill off the black race. And it's not the Republicans, it's the Democrats. So, God bless you. I love you, man. You are the best player. I enjoy watching you play when I do. And I love the way you love your family. I love my family. I've been married 32 years. I have 5 kids that I adore, 6 grandchildren. And you're a great example of a father. And you're a great example of a member of your community giving back the way you do. So God bless you. And please, just think about what I had to say. Bye.